Hello people, hello. I've been so busy with reactions and discovers recently, I thought I'd just take a bit of time to just talk to you. Now I appreciate that not everyone's going to want to watch probably about an hour of me talking absolute so, because I'm probably going to put a bit of a clickbaity title, which is, I've noticed recently people have been getting a lot of popularity by putting up videos saying things like, how much I earn on YouTube. So I'll probably title the video along those lines. But for those of you who want to switch off immediately, the too long didn't read is, how much do I earn on YouTube? It's alright, we can do this. Hey? There we go. That's a too long didn't read. You can click off now. For those of you who are still here, and I would count you probably among my Mercurial mercenaries, I wanted to talk a little bit. I've had comments over the last, well, ever since I've been doing the Discovers, people saying things like, how does he get away with this? And I've commented back with just question marks. How does he get away with this? I think what they mean, because I'm not stupid, I feign a lot of stupidity, all right? But I think what people mean is, how does the Mercurial number 6, who talks about himself in the third person, how does he get away with playing a whole album? How does he get away with it? That's what I want to concentrate on in this video. We live in, I would say, dangerous times for the likes of people like me, especially with the onward march of the Article 13 legislation in the European Union. Brexit is another matter, but those in the know, you just understand that European law has to eventually become UK law, pretty much whether we're in or out. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Discover process. Now, those of you who haven't watched my Discovers, some of you might stumble upon this video. It comes back from a time, a couple of years ago now probably, where the guitar channels were playing cover songs and being hit with copyright claims. They'd play like Hotel California by the Eagles or something, and their video would be claimed. Adverts would be put before it, and the money for their videos would go to the people who own the publishing for the Eagles. And I stumbled upon a similar thing where I was trying to review music, so I might have played like a little bit of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's Murder of the Universe, 15 seconds or something. And what would happen is my video, the entire video, would be claimed. Now, this is becoming a really popular topic of conversation now on YouTube, where everybody's now experiencing it. It felt like it was just me for a while there, but now everyone's experiencing it, so everyone's talking about it. But I'm talking about historically here. And when I reviewed Non-Again Infinity, I thought, do you know what? If I play 15 seconds, they're going to claim the video and put adverts before it and make money from it. So I might as well just play the whole album. And then they can put adverts before it and claim the money for it. And I was talking about discovering music in that way. And then the guitar channels who are covering songs, covering music, said, specifically Cesar Blues Guitar, Cesar All Guitar, said, why don't you call your series Discover? So it's not disc, as in albums, it's discover, meaning cover versions and monetarily losing all your profits from your videos. So that's where the Discover thing came from. And I just wanted to talk a little bit right now about the process as a whole and how much money I make from Discovers, right? And I want to talk, I don't know the answer here. I want to talk through it with you, myself, right? First of all, the Discover process involves asking you guys to come up with ideas for albums that I could talk about and listen to. And so the process is ongoing all the time. I'm constantly thinking, what could I do next? What could I do next? What could I do next? And when I finally decide on something, I have to invest money in it. And vinyl records typically cost about 20 quid Some cost more, some cost a little bit less, but let's just say they cost 20 quid, all right? So every Discover video that I do is an outlay for the vinyl of 20 quid. So every Discover video, straight away, 20 quid, all right? Also understand, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. This might sound like violins, right? I am also discussing all of this in good, genuine, good humour, okay? I promise. Let's just hit on something else here. I know I'm a bit scattershot. So I'm talking about playing an album and listening to the album, reacting to the album, posting the video. How does he get away with it? When you post copyrighted material onto YouTube, as the system currently stands, and apologies, I've spoken about this before on plenty of other videos, right? The owners of the copyrighted material have three choices. They can block the video so no one can see it. They can claim the video, which means running adverts before, during, making all the money from the video. Or they can strike the video. Now, striking is quite an extreme measure. If you get 3 strikes on your channel's deleted. And any company at any time, I think, can give you a strike. So that's what I mean when I say, when someone says, how does he get away with it? This is walking a tightrope for the channel. But what I consider I'm doing, and what a lot of the companies probably consider that I'm doing too, is I'm really promoting the music. And you know yourselves, some of you guys have bought albums on my recommendation. So it does kind of work. But how does he get away with it? Let me just show you my emails a minute, right? Here's my emails, right? These are constantly flowing in. Okay, can you see all this? These are constantly flowing in. I could pick any one of these. Let's just pick one at random. Copyright claim was created for content in Dr. Octagon's full video. There you go, that's one. Just scroll through, constantly coming in, day and night. Just pick any at random again. There you go. Gorillas, Plastic Beach. Just scroll through. This is my life. This is my life. Every video I've ever done that contains music has been monetized by the people who own the music. Every single one. Every single... Let's just concentrate on the Discovers. I've done 73 album reviews. Every single one has been monetized. Every single one of those videos makes money for the people who own the music. And it makes 0 for me. How does he get away with it? I am making videos that make money for the people who own the songs. And make me 0 money. I'm in effect working for the publishers, working for the record companies for nothing. But it's worse than that, isn't it? Because I'm not working for them for nothing. I'm working for them for a negative amount. Because, right, I buy the record for 20 quid. So I'm already working for them and I'm paying them 20 quid to promote their music. I'm paying them 20 quid to promote their music. But it's worse than that. It's not just that they claim the money for the videos. They can use that option of blocking the videos. And my problem here is that YouTube doesn't tell me. Right, let me bring up the screen a minute. Let me bring up my video screen. These are all the videos I've published recently. And you can see, if I just change the screen here, you can see that I've got 2 columns. I've got visibility. This video is visible to everybody. This video is visible to everybody. And I've got monetization. Ineligible. The copyright owner is allowing its use by showing ads on this video. That's the 2 columns. And that'll be fine if they were correct. Let me go to a video that I know some people can't watch, right? For instance, let's go to Pond, Tasmania. Listening to Pond, Tasmania for the first time. Now, this video says, the video was found to contain copyrighted material. The copyright owner is allowing its use by showing ads on this video. So I can click there I can view the copyright claim details. This video cannot be monetized, but the visibility, everyone can view this video. Everyone can view this video. I go to the visibility here. It's public. This video is visible to everybody. I know for a fact that some people can't view this video. So it's just lying to me, straight out lying to me. We can do this with other ones. I just found out today, for instance, that in Australia you can't view my Mac Demarco videos. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So when I go to listening to Mac Demarco, another one, it says here, ineligible. This video was found to contain copyrighted material. Again, view copyright claim details. It's ineligible. The video cannot be monetized. I'm going to look down the list here. You can see video cannot be monetized. Ad revenue paid to copyright owner. Ad revenue paid to copyright owner. Public. Everyone can view this video. So everyone should be able to view it. Matter of fact. It's really tricky. I go to the videos that I know are notorious for this. The Genesis videos. I come down here. Now, this is one of the only ones that sort of tells me something. Look. Foxtrot. Listening to Foxtrot for the first time. Ineligible. View copyright claim details. A video is blocked in some territories. An uploader monetization is not allowed. Fine. And when you look down here, supper's ready, timetable, video cannot be monetized, ad revenue paid to copyright owner. It appears that it's specifically Watcher of the Skies. Video cannot be seen or monetized, partially blocked. View details. Your video is blocked in this territory, Netherlands. Well, I've got to say now, is that true? Is it true that Foxtrot, my Genesis Foxtrot video is only blocked in the Netherlands? I don't think so. I think it's blocked in a lot of places. This just plain lies to me. And yeah, this does sound like a moan. This is a partial moan. I've got over it. I accept it. I live it. I'm just trying to show you that as I go down this list, YouTube is telling me that all these videos can be viewed by everybody, with a few minor exceptions. But it's, on the whole, I've found that pretty much all my discoverers have territories that they can't be viewed in. But YouTube doesn't tell me. So now we're talking about the process. I've told you that I make videos, reaction videos, where all the money on the YouTube side of things goes to the publisher. And that's about, it's about $1 for every 1,000 views, roughly. So here's number of views, all right? So for something like Tame Impala, Mac Demarco, you're looking at, what are you looking at here? 21,000, 17, 16, 11. So let's just say that, I mean, the better videos are going upwards of 20,000. But let's just say an average is, I mean, it's probably a bit high, but let's just say an average is 10,000 views, all right, for these discovers. So that's $10, only $10. But that's $10 that goes to the publisher, right? Or YouTube or whatever, but to the publisher, let's say to the publisher. It certainly goes out of my, it doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to me. And this is putting aside all the albums that people who watch my videos buy, which also goes to them, right? Forget that. So we've got the fact that I spend, let's go back to my little bit here. We've got the fact that I spend £20 in the first place, and I've got to give the £10 to the record company. So I'm out of pocket straight off the bat. The 20 quid it cost me for the album and the 10 quid that I don't get for the video in payment, right? So straight away there, I can do this, right? Straight away there with 30 quid down, right? Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the process of making a Discover. I've talked about the time it takes in the first place just to come up with the album that I'm going to buy. I then got to buy it. I then have to set the room up to make it look presentable. I have got an outlay there. Yes, violins. I got a decent camera, not the webcam. Got a decent camera that I use for the Discovers. That's why the Discovers look different. I've got lighting. I mean, the lighting in here is terrible because I've backlit myself. But I've got lighting. I've got little bits and pieces I have to do. I've got the audio system. I've got microphones, decent microphones that I use. I've got decent microphone preamps that I use. I've got a whole software system. I mean, it's basically a studio, but I use my studio, and I've been a music producer for like 2 decades, but I use that knowledge to make the Discover sound good. There's music production knowledge that I have that I use. That's setting the room up. Then I've got the recording of the video. I've got the putting of the album on, and that hour or so it takes to just sit there and record it. And then we're talking about presenter skills. And now, people queue up every day to tell me in my comment sections that they hate me. That's fine, I understand. But some people like me. So you've got to weigh up here how much my time is worth as a presenter that I'm not getting paid, but that I could be getting paid. What's an hour's worth of a decent radio presenter's time worth? Or an hour's worth of a decent TV presenter's time worth? Let's be honest, I'd equate my presence on screen with that of Tom Cruise. How much is Tom Cruise going to get paid an hour? If he was to turn up and listen to a Mac Demarco album, how much would you have to pay Tom Cruise? Let's be more realistic then. And let's just put me at the level of just a crappy TV presenter. How much are you going to pay them? If you had to phone someone up now and get a crappy TV presenter, your local TV newsreader, weather girl, get your local weather girl. How much is it going to cost you for an hour of your local weather girl's time to film her reacting to Mac DeMarco? It's a genuine question. I don't necessarily know the answer to this question. It's a genuine question. What's the answer? I don't know. I reckon you'd have to. I don't know. I think you'd have to. So I was going to say like a couple of £100, but really, I reckon it cost you £1,000 to get the local weather girl. Let's be realistic, right? I'm not a local weather girl. I'm just a Mercurial number 6. Let's say that I'm not that valuable a commodity because the world doesn't know me, the world doesn't like me. Let's just say I'm £100. No, £100? An hour of my time as a presenter? Let's say £150. Let's be good here, right? So far there. Now we're up to £180. Okay? Right, so that's just presenting it. Now, I've got to... The problem now is that when people say, yeah, how does he get away with it? How does he get away with it? What? Just chucking videos up? Just listening, just chucking them up? Just appear there? Oh, how does he get away with that? To try and make my videos transformative in nature, because I am aware that it is dodgy. It's at least slightly dodgy ground playing an album on YouTube and trying to justify how it shouldn't be violating. I try and make it a little bit transformative, and the way I've done that from the very beginning is I've spoken over the songs, and I try to do it pretty much continuously over the music to make it so that people cannot use my videos as a substitute for the genuine article. So that someone can't say, you've just put Gorilla's Plastic Beach up. They can't say that, because I haven't. I've spoken over it. And as the comments, I got another one today. Why can't you just shut up and listen to the music? If I shut up and listen to the music, it'll be a video where I'm just playing the album and nodding. Then I am just recreating the album. And it is, that is a proper copyright breach. And I mean, I want to talk about fair use as well, but I'm aware that this is going to be a long video. Perhaps we'll touch on fair use. The concept of fair use. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, right? Now, I've already told you that all the money that is produced from watching the adverts that run on my Discovers, all of that money, sorry, it's the backlit thing with my hair, all that money goes to the record companies. And I have accepted that. I put the video up, it gets copyright claimed if I'm lucky, blocked if I'm unlucky. That's a whole other world of pain, which we'll probably have to go into later. I put the video up, it gets monetized, and the money goes to the record company. And I accept that. I've never fought it. I accept that I'm working for nothing, although as we're going to find out, I'm not working for nothing, I'm working for a massive negative. There is an argument, however, that the money shouldn't go to the record company, it should go to me. And that's the whole fair use thing. Now, fair use, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't really exist. It doesn't really exist. It's a thing that YouTubers talk about. Fair use exists as a concept, and it exists as a good idea, and it exists as the right way for things to be. However, in practice, it's elusive. I've never seen it. I've never seen fair use. Let me just bring up the UK law, fair use law. Now, let me just make one thing clear. I do believe in copyright. Having been a musician myself, the idea of spending a lot of time creating something only to have it stolen, that's not good. But bear in mind, right now, I'm spending a lot of time creating something, a YouTube video which people enjoy, and the money for it is stolen from me. I mean, how much I have to credit the original artist of the record I'm listening to. I do have to. I appreciate that. I acknowledge that. But I am creating a whole new visual work. Anyway, exceptions to copyright. This is the UK law now. This is UK law. And we'll go down to fair use, fair dealing. It's called in the UK. So we've got certain exceptions only apply if the use of the work is a fair dealing. For example, the exceptions relating to research and private study, criticism or review, or news reporting. Now, my Discovers would fall under criticism or review. And if you think about it, at the end of the album, I do make a final verdict most of the time. And where I differ from your typical review is that throughout the album, I'm constantly criticising for positive and negative. Fair dealing, fair use, is a legal term used to establish whether a use of copyright material is lawful or whether it infringes copyright. There is no statutory definition of fair use. It will always be a matter of fact, degree, and impression in each case. This is the problem. Fair use is completely subjective. There are no rules. There's no way to say what's right or wrong. One person will argue that their video is fair use. Another person will argue that it's not. You need an arbiter at the end of the day, and it's going to be someone like a judge, right? That's the problem here. The question to be asked is, how would a fair-minded and honest person have dealt with the work? Right. So when I put a video out there, just say I listen to This Old Dog by Demarco. I put it on the record player. I enjoy it. I talk over it. I'm continuously talking over it, singing over the top of it, to the point where, as you're watching the video, if you're enjoying what you can hear of the music, you're gonna have to go and buy it. If you enjoy it, I'm promoting it. You can't keep listening. You can keep listening to my video, but you'll keep hearing me talking over it. That never changes. And how does a fair-minded and honest person consider my Discovers? Fair-minded and honest. I'm putting visuals to it. I'm doing lots of video editing. I would say I'm transforming the work. The end result of my video is probably not what Demarco himself would envisage as the outcome of his album. But that's because it's a Mercurial #6 product. Are you with me? Factors that have been identified by the courts as relevant in determining whether a particular dealing with a fair work is fair include, these are the important bits now. Does using the work affect the market for the original work? If a use of a work acts as a substitute for it, causing the owner to lose revenue, then it is not fair. Right, so, does the Discover video affect the market for the original work? So by producing a Discover, have I stopped people buying Mac Demarco's This Old Dog? This is subjective, so I don't think I have stopped anyone from buying it. You might think I have. So you might disagree with me on this one. That's perfectly valid. That's the whole problem with it. I think by talking over the top, I have changed the nature of this work. You can't use my video as a substitute from it. Mac Demarco will not lose revenue from my Discover. If anything, he will gain revenue as I am promoting his music. So I think, on that point, I am safe. I should get the money from my videos. It should go to me. Point number 2. Is the amount of work taken reasonable and appropriate? Was it necessary to use the amount that was taken? Usually only part of a work may be used. Right. Now this is a problem for my Discovers. When it comes to fair use, the general rule is use as little of the original work as you can. Now, I think for a music review that's fine. You talk about something, you can play a little snippet of it. A film review, you can talk about something, play a little snippet of it. I understand that fair use principle, I do. However, if I'm doing a reaction to the whole album, I would argue that I need to use the whole album. Now we're into subjectivity, and we need a room of people to all watch my video and all decide whether it was a reasonable and appropriate amount. Now, I think some people will say listening to the whole album is not reasonable and it's not appropriate. And I think some people will read that and say, on the line there where it says, was it necessary to use the amount that was taken? I think people out there will say, yes, to react to an album, it was indeed necessary to use the amount that was taken. The Mercurial number 6, it was necessary for him to use the whole album to react to the whole album. The relative importance of any one factor will vary according to the case in hand and the type of dealing in question. The problem is, it is completely subjective. It's completely subjective. Sufficient acknowledgement is also an interesting one. It's often said that just acknowledging something is not negating copyright and it's not fair use. But I think everything goes together to form a whole, right? If you're making use of that exception to copy someone else's work, it is necessary for you to sufficiently acknowledge their work. Right, this is the important line here. For example, where you have copied all or a substantial part of a work for the purposes of criticism or review, or where the use was for the purposes of news reporting. Right, so it is necessary to sufficiently acknowledge the work where you have copied all of the work for the purposes of criticism or review. It is necessary for you to sufficiently acknowledge the person who produced the product when you're using all of the work, and it does say all there, for the purposes of criticism or review. So what I'm getting at here is, rather than there being no evidence whatsoever that a Discover could possibly be fair use, I'm saying that actually, under UK law, there is at least the possibility that someone could deem, a judge could deem the reaction and transformative nature and the acknowledgement of the existing work and the use of all of the existing work, there is at least the possibility that someone could deem it fair dealing and allow me to keep the money that's produced from the videos. Now, I would not want to get into a legal battle on this one, because the problem is, if you were to lose a legal battle, that could be a big deal. Now, so when someone says, how does he get away with it, right? How does he get away with it, right? I don't get away with it. I don't get away with anything. I produce work that YouTube, well, perhaps not YouTube, but I produce work that the song copyright holders deem as a copyright infringement, and they have the opportunity to block the video or take the money from the video. And on the whole, most publishers in the world at the moment seem to be accepting that they can make money from this. There are people out there who don't own a Mac Demarco or a Home Shake or King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard or a Tame Impala album, and might never own one. But those people might watch my videos, and those record companies will get money from people who were never going to listen, who were never going to buy Nonagon Infinity or Lonerism. So, how does he get away with it? I don't get away with it, and it might be in the future, when Article 13 comes in, that this channel is just immediately deleted. Now, I would say that at the moment, that there's no rule breaking going on here. The publishers appear quite happy to take the money, and nothing, contrary to what someone who says, how does he get away with it, is saying, nothing is being violated. I'm producing videos that have copyrighted material in them, and the owners of the copyrighted material are running adverts and taking money. If I didn't produce the video, that money would not be going to the record companies because the video wouldn't exist. And if I didn't produce the video, there are people out there who might not buy these albums who currently are buying these albums. So I'm making, it's a kind of a win-win all round for everybody apart from me. And then you'd say, well, why are you doing it? Yes, there is a slight win for me because I have a channel that people are choosing to watch. And the subscriber numbers are, 5,000. So 5,532 people over the history of this channel have chosen to do that with their finger on the like button. And a lot of that will have been because of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Tame Impala and Mac DeMarco. So, yes, it's win-win. So we got to the point where I'm recording the video as a presenter. I'm looking at the camera. I'm coming up with all my witticisms and all my shit that I talk about. And yes, comments come in saying, why don't you shut up and listen to the music? I hope now I've explained in enough detail why I can't shut up and listen to the music. Now, there may well be reaction channels out there. Now, this is the weird thing as well. I don't watch reaction videos. So I don't know what the competition is. I hate doing that. I don't know what the competition is, right? But if there are reaction videos and reaction creators out there who do make money, that's probably because they're with some multi-channel network, and they've probably got agreements with record companies. They've probably got lawyers involved, and they've probably negotiated a kind of fair use clause. Now, I haven't got any of that. I just get monetized, or demonetized, or blocked. So I can't comment on what other reaction channels do. But when someone says, how do I get away with it? I don't get away with it. So I've produced the video. I've done the recording to camera. I'm looking that way because that's where I put the camera. Here. Done my backdrop. Done my talking to camera over the music. This doesn't end now, right? This 45-minute to 1 hour video that you guys watch probably takes me... I then have to edit the audio, mixing the record and my voice in. And I do things with vocal effects and things to make it all sound nice. I put a lot of effort into making the audio quality right up here. You'll have heard it between the likes of the first episode of Discover, Nonagon Infinity, up till the latest one. home shake, you'll hear the difference in the quality of the audio. That's effort. It's effort monetarily in the equipment I've got here, but it's effort in terms of time. All right? And then when I've done that, I then have to do the video editing, marrying up the visuals to the music and to the talking. And some of you guys who've seen my videos, yes, it's blowing my own trumpet while I'm playing them. Yeah, playing a violin at the same time as blowing a trumpet. Yeah, it can be done. I can do it. It's doable. The video editing can take absolutely ages. Look, the process from the buying of the album, the putting on of the album, the recording, the audio mixing, the video editing, probably 3 days. Probably 3 days, all right? Then the problem we have then is I upload the video to YouTube and I sometimes find that it's worldwide blocked. Then I have to go back to the drawing board, do a new edit where I take the music out, go through the whole palaver again and a few extra hours of nonsense, re-rendering the video. The rendering of the video can take a few hours. When I video edit something, the production of the one single final file is the rendering process, and some of the more complex edits. Like there was a bit on the latest Home Shake video where I did a whole underwater section towards the end. That bit took hours to render. You get a file, typically about 10 gigabyte file, and I tend to upload that to YouTube overnight. So that adds another, I can't, that's going on without my, I'm not really doing a lot during that point, so I won't add that into my time. But if it gets a worldwide block, there's a lot of to and froing. It can add another couple of days. So something that gets a worldwide block, by the time you see that kind of edited 10-minute bit with the music taken out, the sort of just the voice videos, probably 5 days total. Something that doesn't get a worldwide block and just gets claimed, 3 days. And when it's up there. At the same time as that, I'm having to do the thumbnail, which involves, so I've got the audio, I've got the audio mixing software, I've got the video editing software, I've got the Photoshop thumbnail software. So many different processes, right? So, let's just say, it sounds like I'm just making all this shit up, but no. It's hours and hours of time, right? So, right? So, we got to add on to that, all right? I said 3 days. I don't know. It takes an hour. It takes an hour to fart about setting up the room to do the video, right? Then it takes an hour to film it. And honestly, it takes some time. Let's be really conservative here. It takes a couple of hours to do the audio, and it can take a lot of hours to do the video editing. It can take a lot. It can take a lot. Let's be conservative again. Let's say that I can do the video editing in, I don't know. Let's just say it takes me 5 hours, all right? It could take me 3 hours. It could take me 8 hours. It could take me 16 hours. Then we got the general time it takes to render and upload. Uploading takes probably about 8 hours. Rendering it can take about 2-3 hours. Let's take out those times because technically I could be doing other things while that's happening, all right? So let's just go with these hours here, all right? So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 hours, right? And this is to add to the 180 quid, right? Now we've got the question, which is, how much is 9 hours of my time worth? Now, how much is my time worth as an audio engineer, audio producer? Any audio producers out there? You know how much you charge per hour. And you could say, oh, but perhaps the Mercurial number 6 isn't as good as me. Well, I've been a producer now for 20 years. and I've produced a few albums, and my work is out there for people to listen to and determine whether they think my audio production skills are any good or not. You can go and listen to my expose series. You can listen to the 11th Hour Initiative albums, Escapism, The Only Way Out Is Through. It's out there. It's just out there, that's all I'm saying, right? I consider myself to have 20 years of experience in this. And then before that, a decade of just playing without being a producer. And even in the decade I was playing without being a producer, I was still being a producer, because I was recording stuff on 4-track Tascams and things. In fact, Mac Demarco recorded his bloody album, Rock and Roll Nightclub, on a similar Tascam that I used to own. So it's all relative, is what I'm saying. How much would an audio producer charge per hour? How much would a video producer charge per hour? I don't know. I mean, it's just nonsense here, I know. But let's be conservative with a small c. Let's be conservative, right? I think my time in both of those processes is worth more than I'm about to say. I think, look, let's just be ultra conservative so no one can go, oh, you'd really charge that much. Let's just say that I would charge 20 quid an hour for being a video producer, audio producer. I don't care. You can agree, disagree. I think that's ridiculously low myself. But yeah, my handwriting's not great on this thing. But 9 times 20 quid, right? So that's, oh, funny enough, that's just by complete accident, but that's 180 quid. Right? Yeah. So we've got to add the 180 quid to the 180 quid. And 180 plus 180 is 360. And then technically, you'd have to add on to that. If this was a business, which it's not, because I make 0, you'd have to add onto that the cost of the lighting. Just power. Internet. Just costs. Equipment. I could, if this was a job, innit? Stuff. How much does all this stuff add up to overall? But let's just say for the minute, that every time I make a video, I lose 360 quid. Right? I make negative 360 for each video I do. Let me just do something here. Let me just find out what 360 quid is in dollars, because I know that people out there would like to work in dollars. £360 in dollars. 467. Let me just show you. There you go. That's all right now. Okay, right. $467. So every time I make a video, I lose $467. Right? So we can do this. So I lose 400. Yeah, I'm doing it. This is light-hearted still. Right? This is light-hearted. Calculator. Calculator. $467 times by the number of discovers I've done, which is 73, equals. So I have lost, just doing my Discover series, I have lost $34,091. $34,000. So when someone says, how'd you get away with it? I have lost, just doing my Discover series, $34,000. Yes! Why? Right. So someone now could say, so why do you do it then? Whining on YouTube. Why don't you just shut up? Look, I told you at the beginning, this was light-hearted. I do it because I sometimes enjoy it. And basically, it's a hobby. It's a hobby that's lost me $34,000. But then doesn't everyone have a hobby that loses them money? That's just what hobbies do, don't they? They lose you money. Look, people who make music that no one ever listens to because no one listens to music these days. People make short films that no one watches. People do crochet that no one sees. People catch fish that no one eats. I mean, yeah. So this has lost me $34,000. I just thought I'd jump on the bandwagon of how much money do I make from YouTube. That's all. And because I laugh when I see it, I laugh. So it was a combination of the videos that say, I'll tell you how much I make on YouTube. A combination of that and the people who say, how does he get away with it? I get away with it because I lose $34,000. I get away with it because probably what I do is fair use. I get away with it because the record companies, as it stands right now, before future changes with copyright law and Article 13, record companies right now accept that running adverts before copyrighted material is probably an additional source of income. And I get away with it because I suppose it's a hobby. But when you're asking me to listen to albums and you're wondering why, say, I haven't listened to Ariel Pink's Pom Pom, even though you've asked for it 100 times, just appreciate that I have a fair idea that Pom Pom by Ariel Pink will be worldwide blocked. So understand my reluctance to do it. However, if you have watched this far through this video, I appreciate it. It's more time spent in each other's company without music playing. And this channel, if you look at it, yeah, there's been 73 episodes to discover, but on the whole, there's been over 600 videos that had nothing to do with that. And I'd like you on board. You know, you can join if you're watching this for the first time, you can join the realms of the 5,532. So if you like this video, press like. If you don't like it, give me the thumbs down, I suppose. Never really understand that, but do it if you want. Subscribe if you want. If you don't like me, unsubscribe. This was all meant in good faith. It was meant in jest and jollity. I do appreciate that some of you out there criticise me when you think that I'm moaning and you tell me that it's a turn off to hear someone moan. I just wanted to at least put out there that a 45-minute video can take a fair bit of effort. And I think most of you already know that, which is why you'll probably be saying to me right now, just wind your neck in. We don't need the violins, mate. But thank you very much. I quite like just talking to you guys. So, there you go. How does he get away with it? Over and